The rain hammered Manhattan's streets like 1,000 accusations, each drop a reminder of the life Noah had built on polished lies. He gripped the steering wheel of his Bentley, idling outside the shelter on the Bowery, heart slamming against his ribs as if it knew the storm inside him was worse than the one outside. The gold-embossed invitation on the passenger seat mocked him Alex's wedding, a glittering affair in the Hamptons that screamed closure. But to Noah, it whispered revenge. He'd loved Alex with the kind of fire that consumes. Back when they were both 20-somethings clawing their way up in the cutthroat world of finance. Alex, with his easy charm and promises of forever, had been Noah's anchor in a city that chewed up dreams. But 5 years ago, Alex had walked away, citing irreconcilable differences that Noah later learned meant Alex's family fortune demanded a straight facade. Now Alex was marrying Emily, the perfect socialite bride, and Noah was invited as a guest, not a ghost from the past. The audacity burned. He couldn't show up alone, looking like the heartbroken fool everyone whispered about in boardrooms. No, he needed armor. Something bold. Someone unexpected. That's when he spotted her through the shelter's fogged window, a woman huddled under the awning, her dark curls plastered to her face, eyes scanning the downpour with the wariness of someone who'd learned trust was a luxury. She couldn't have been more than late 20s. Her features sharp yet soft, carrying the weight of stories etched in faint scars on her knuckles. Noah killed the engine, grabbed his umbrella, and stepped into the torrent. Water soaked his loafers instantly, but he didn't care. He approached her like he was defusing a bomb's low. Steady. Excuse me, he said, voice cutting through the roar. She looked up, hazel eyes narrowing, ready to bolt. This is going to sound insane, but I need a date for a wedding tomorrow. It's black tie. All out. I'll pay you $5,000 just to stand there and look fierce. No strings. She stared, rain dripping from her lashes, then let out a laugh that was half bark, half sabra, unfiltered. You rich boys and your pity plays. What's the catch? You want me to pretend I'm your sister or some shit? No catch. Just company. The kind that makes jaws drop. He extended a hand. The one not holding the umbrella. I'm Noah. And you? Jamie. Her grip was firm. Calloused palms telling tales of survival he could only imagine. She searched his face, then shrugged. Hell, why not? Beats another night in this dump. By morning, Noah had whisked her to his penthouse on the Upper East Side, a sprawling glass and steel fortress overlooking Central Park. Jamie emerged from the guest bath, transformed, not just cleaned up, but reborn in the emerald gown he'd had his stylist deliver overnight. It hugged her curves like it was made for her, the silk shimmering against her warm brown skin. She turned in the mirror, fingers tracing the neckline, a flicker of wonder softening her guarded edges. You clean up like you were born for this, Noah said, adjusting his cufflinks, trying not to stare. There was something about her fierce, unapologetic that stirred echoes in him. Memories of the boy he'd been before Wall Street armored his heart. Jamie smirked, but her eyes held a shadow. Born for ball gowns. Nah. Survival's my runway. She didn't elaborate. And he didn't push. Not yet. The drive to the Hamptons was a blur of Hamptons hedges and ocean glimpses, the Bentley slicing through traffic like a knife. Jamie fiddled with the radio, landing on an old indie track about lost loves and second chances. So, this ex of yours, she said, breaking the silence. What's his deal? You look like you're marching to your execution. Noah's jaw tightened. Alex, we were everything. Until he decided his family's legacy was worth more than us. Now he's tying the knot with Emily Vanderbilt old money. Perfect pedigree. It's a show. The whole thing's a goddamn spectacle. She nodded, understanding flickering in her gaze. People like that. They trade souls for spotlights. Seen it too many times. He glanced at her. Curiosity piqued. You sound like you speak from experience. Maybe. She turned to the window, the Atlantic blurring past. But today, I'm your plus one. Let's make it memorable. The venue was a sprawling estate on Georgica Pond. White tints billowing like sails against the summer sky. Valets swarmed the Bentley, and heads turned as Noah and Jamie stepped out in bespoke Tom Ford. Her in that gown that turned every eye. Whispers rippled through the arriving guests. Noah Harrington. With her, the elite crowd hedge funders. Socialites. A smattering of politicians eyed Jamie like an exotic artifact. Her presence a glitch in their polished code. Inside the grand tent, crystal chandeliers dripped light over linen-draped tables. The air thick with lilies and latent judgments. Noah spotted Alex across the lawn, laughing with groomsmen in pastel suits. His blonde hair catching the sun like it always had. Emily clung to his arm, blonde and beaming. The picture of wasp perfection. Noah's stomach twisted, but Jamie's hand on his elbow grounded him. Deep breaths. Handsome, she murmured. We've got this. Champagne flowed as the ceremony loomed. Noah introduced Jamie to a cluster of old acquaintances Mark from the firm, who raised a brow. Lydia, Alex's cousin, who cooed overly. Jamie played it flawless, witty quips. A laugh that disarmed. Her poise belying the cardboard sign Noah had seen her clutch last night. But as the string quartet struck up Pachelbel's canon, and guests filed to seats, Noah caught Alex's gaze locking on them from the altar. Confusion. Then something sharper jealousy. Flashed in those green eyes. The vows were a blur of I do's and exchanged rings. Emily's veil a cascade of illusion. Noah clapped politely. Jamie's fingers laced through his under the table. A secret anchor. Then came the reception, toasts. First dance. The cake-cutting charade. Alex pulled Noah aside during the cocktail hour, clapping his shoulder a beat too hard. Buddy, didn't expect you to bring a date, Alex said, voice laced with that old charm masking unease. His eyes flicked to Jamie, who was charming a group of bridesmaids nearby. She's striking. Noah forced a smile. Life moves on. Alex. Jamie's incredible. Keeps me honest. Alex chuckled, but it didn't reach his eyes. Honest. Yeah. Well, glad you're here. Means a lot. As the night deepened, the dance floor pulsed under fairy lights. Jamie pulled Noah into a slow sway to some soulful cover band tune, her head on his shoulder. This place reeks of secrets. She whispered. Your ex keeps staring like he sees a ghost. Noah's pulse quickened. Maybe he does. You. She pulled back slightly, eyes searching his. Not yet. But give it time. The real storm hit during the speeches. Emily's maid of honor gushed about eternal love. Alex's best man cracked jokes about bachelor days. Then it was open mic guests sharing words of wisdom. A tipsy aunt rambled about family legacies. Noah tensed when Alex gestured his way. But instead, Alex called on Noah's lovely companion. The mic found its way to Jamie, thrust upon her by a grinning usher. The room hushed. All eyes on the stranger in emerald who didn't belong. She hesitated, fingers white-knuckling the stand, then straightened. Her voice, when it came, was steady as steel-low, resonant, carrying across the tent like a confession in church. I wasn't planning on speaking, Jamie began, the words slicing the air. But since I'm here, crashing this perfect little fairy tale, I think it's time someone said it out loud. A murmur rippled. Noah's heart stopped. Alex froze mid-sip. Champagne flute hovering. You see, I know Alex. She continued, eyes locked on him now, unflinching. Not from Society pages or Hampton summers. From before the shadows. The nights when perfect wasn't enough. Back when he was just a boy terrified of who he really was. Loving someone he couldn't admit to the world. Gasps punctured the silence. Emily's hand flew to her mouth. Alex's face drained of color. 5 years ago. Jamie pressed on. Voice cracking just enough to humanize the blade. He left me on a Greyhound bus to nowhere. With nothing but a promise he'd figure it out. I was Jamie then. 2 but rougher edges. Fighting for every breath after my family kicked me out for daring to be me. A trans woman in a world that pretends we don't exist. Alex knew. He held me through the hormones. The surgeries. The hate mail from his own circle. Said he loved me enough to burn it all down. The room was a tomb. Forks clattered. A child whimpered in the back. But legacies win. Don't they? Jamie's laugh was bitter. Tears gleaming but unshed. He chose this, the tense. The vows. The lie. And Noah. You brought me here thinking I was a stranger. A shield. But I'm the ghost he buried. The truth he drowned in denial. Noah's world tilted. He stared at her. Pieces slamming together, the familiar lilt in her laugh. The scar on her wrist from that camping trip Alex had mentioned in whispers. Not a stranger. His past. Colliding with his present. Alex lunged forward. Voice strangled. Jamie. Stop, this isn't what? True. She whirled on him. The mic amplifying her fury. Her pain. You think marrying Emily erases us. Erases the nights you cried in my arms. Begging me not to leave because you couldn't face your father. I did leave. For you. And look where it got me, streets of New York. Scraping by while you play house. Emily stood. Veil askew. Eyes wide with betrayal. Alex. Is this? The tent erupted, whispers to shouts. Guests pulling out phones. The facade shattering like fine china. Noah rose, grabbing Jamie's arm gently. But she shrugged him off. Facing the chaos she'd unleashed with the dignity of a warrior. In the melee, as ushers herded people out and Alex vanished into a side tent with his bride to maybe not, Noah pulled Jamie aside to the pond's edge. Moonlight silvered the water. The party's din fading behind manicured shrubs. Why didn't you tell me? He asked. Voice raw. Not anger, but ache. From the start. On that rainy street. Jamie sank onto a bench. Gown pooling like spilled secrets. Because you looked at me like I was just a woman down on her luck. Not a bomb waiting to drop. And God. Noah. After everything. I needed that. One night, without the weight. He sat beside her. Close enough to feel her shiver. Alex never mentioned. I mean, I knew he had ghosts. But you. We were together after. He acted like you'd vanished. Poof. Like magic. She wiped her eyes. Smudging mascara into warrior stripes. He paid for my transition at first guilt money. Then radio silence when his dad dangled the VP spot. I spiraled. Lost the job. The apartment. Became that homeless stranger you picked up. Fate's a cruel bitch. Noah's mind reeled. Replaying fragments. Alex's sudden mood swings post-breakup. The unexplained trips to the city. I thought he left because of me. Because I wasn't enough. Jamie turned. Her hand finding his in the dark. You were always enough. He was the coward. Silence stretched. Broken only by distant sobs from the Tentemeles. Perhaps. Noah searched her face. Seeing not just the woman who'd upended a wedding, but the soul who'd survived hell and still shone. Something shifted in him. A crack in the armor he'd worn since Alex. Not pity. Not obligation to pull. Magnetic. laced with the thrill of truth. "Come with me," he said suddenly. "Not as a date. As you. Back to the city. We talk. Really talk. No more strangers." She searched his eyes, vulnerability mirroring his own. "And if I say yes, what then?" "Then we figure it out. Together." He leaned in, forehead to hers, the rain scent of her hair mingling with lily perfume. "I've spent years building walls. You just tore one down. Let me return the favor." Jamie hesitated, then nodded, a small smile breaking through. "Deal. But if we're doing this, it's real. No more hiding." As they slipped away, the Bentley waiting like a getaway car, Noah glanced back at the tent lights flickering, an empire crumbling. For the first time in years, his heart didn't ache with loss. It beat with possibility. Dawn broke over the Hamptons like a reluctant witness, painting the estate in hues of blush and gold as Noah and Jamie fled the wreckage. The drive back to Manhattan was quieter than the outbound trip. The radio silent. The hum of tires on I-95 a canvas for unspoken confessions. Jamie stared out at the passing salt marshes. Her gown rumpled now, a relic of the night before. Noah stole glances, piecing together the woman beside him, not the fierce +1, but the one who'd loved his ex in ways he could only envy. "You hungry?" he asked, breaking the hush as they hit the Queensboro Bridge. The skyline loomed, a jagged promise of home. She turned, surprise softening her edges. "Starving. But not for caviar. Real food, greasy spoon. If you can handle it." He laughed, the sound foreign in his throat. "Lead the way." They detoured to a diner in Astoria, the kind with vinyl booths cracked from decades of spills and stories. Over eggs over easy and hash browns drowned in ketchup. Jamie unraveled threads of her life. Born James in a Rust Belt town outside Pittsburgh. She'd known by 12 that her skin didn't fit. Mom called it a phase, she said, fork spearing a yolk. Dad called it sin. By 18, I was out literally, with a duffel and $20. Hormones came via clinic waitlists and sheer will. College a distant dream funded by waitressing and odd jobs. Then Alex met at a queer underground bar in Brooklyn, all brooding intensity and whispered dreams. He was out to me from night one. Said I made him brave. Their love was feverish. Stolen weekends in lofts and late-night drives to the Jersey Shore. But when Alex's father discovered them storming the apartment with ultimatums, cracks formed. He chose the path of least resistance. Jamie said, voice steady but eyes distant. Paid for my top surgery as a goodbye. Like buying absolution. Noah listened, his own plate cooling untouched. He'd met Alex 6 months later, at a gala fundraiser for LGBTQ youth, irony bitter on his tongue now. Alex had been magnetic, sweeping Noah into a whirlwind of private jets and whispered, I love yous. But doubts lingered, the flinches at family events, the abrupt silences. I thought it was me, Noah admitted, pushing too hard for rings. Kids. The white picket lie. Jamie reached across, squeezing his hand. It was never you. He was always running from himself. The diner emptied around them, sun climbing higher. Noah paid insisting. Despite her protest stand, they wandered Astoria's streets, past bodegas hawking lotto dreams and grandmas in headscarves gossiping on stoops. Jamie pointed out murals of fierce queens, her step lighter with each block. This neighborhood saved me, she said. After the bus dropped me here, I crashed on couches, bartended at dives, learned to own my skin. By noon, they were back at his penthouse. Noah offered the guests suite, not the impersonal one from last night, but the airy space with views of the park, filled with books on art and activism he'd collected but never cracked. Stay? He said. Not a plea, but a bridge. As long as you need. No rent. No expectations. She eyed him. Walls up, but thinning. What's your angle? Noah. Rich guilt. Or do you see something in the mess? He stepped closer. Close enough to catch the faint vanilla of her skin. I see you. The woman who faced down a room of strangers and spoke her truth. That's braver than any boardroom I've conquered. Jamie searched his face, then nodded. 1 week. Then we reassess. That week blurred into a rhythm neither expected. Mornings. Noah buried in spreadsheets at his hedge fund office deals worth millions. But his mind wandered to her laugh echoing in the kitchen. Afternoons. Jamie explored the city on foot, returning with sketches in a battered notebook, Central Park joggers, subway poets, the grit glamour of it all. She'd been an art major once. She confessed over takeout Thai. Before life derailed the canvas. Evenings were theirs tentative at first. Shared silences over wine on the terrace. The city sprawl a glittering confessor. Noah opened up about his own closets, the closeted teen in Ohio. Coming out to parents who loved but lectured. The grind to billionaire status masking a loneliness that money couldn't touch. Alex was my rebellion, he said one night. Stars pricking the sky. Thought he was freedom. Turns out, he was just another cage. Jamie leaned against the railing. Wind tugging her curls. Freedom's messy. It's choosing the bus over the boardroom. The truth over the toast. I wouldn't trade my scars for his silk ties. Their talks deepened, laced with laughter, her roasting his protein shake routine, him teasing her obsession with true crime podcasts. Touches lingered, a hand on her back guiding her through crowds, her fingers brushing his in the elevator. Noah felt it building. A warmth not for Alex's ghost, but for this woman. Trans and triumphant, who saw through his polish to the boy beneath. But shadows loomed. Midweek. His phone buzzed incessantly, texts from Mark, wedding fallout everywhere. Alex denying it all. Emily's lawyered up. Then a call from Lydia. Voice hushed. Noah. Darling. The tabloids are circling. Groom's secret past exposed at vows. Your name's dragged in, ex-boyfriend's mystery date drops bombshell. He showed Jamie. Screen glowing in the dim living room. Her face hardened. Knew it would bite back. You want me gone? Clean slate. Hell no. He pocketed the phone, pulling her close. This is our story now. Not his. She melted into him, head on his chest, heartbeat syncing with his. Our story, she echoed, tentative hope threading her words. That night, as thunder rumbled distant, they crossed the line not with fireworks, but a slow unraveling. Lips meeting soft in the hallway, hands exploring with the reverence of rediscovery. Jamie's body, a map of resilience, responded to his touch with gasps that undid him. In the king bed overlooking the storm, they moved together, gentle, fierce, a claiming of what the world had tried to steal. Noah whispered her name like a prayer, and in her sighs, he found absolution. Morning brought coffee and clarity. I love you, he said simply, over mugs steaming on the counter. Not I think, but sure as sunrise. Jamie's eyes welled, but she smiled. Took you long enough. Harrington, I love you too. Yet the world intruded. By afternoon, paparazzi swarmed the lobby, flashes popping like accusations. Jamie froze in the elevator. Old fears surfacing. I can't do this, the stairs. The headlines. I'm not ready to be your public redemption. Noah cupped her face. Then we fight it together. Private for now. But I'm not letting go. She nodded. Fierce again. Okay. But on my terms. As they plotted lawyers for privacy clauses. A quiet move to a low-key Brooklyn brownstone. Noah felt the kinks loosen in his soul. Alex's wedding had been a farce. This, with Jamie, was the real vow. One truth at a time. They were rewriting the ending. But fate, that cruel curator, had one more twist queued. Brooklyn welcomed them like an old friend, brownstones etched with ivy. Streets alive with dog walkers and delivery bikes. The distant thrum of the subway, a lullaby. Noah leased the place, sight unseen. 3 stories of creaky charm in Cobble Hill. With a garden patch Jamie claimed immediately. Planting herbs in cracked pots scavenged from alleys. Real life, she declared. Dirt under her nails. Not penthouse pretty. The move was swift. Boxes unpacked amid laughter and minor disasters, a shattered vase. Wine stains on the rug. Noah hired no movers. They did it themselves. Shoulders brushing in the truck. Her playlist of queer anthems blasting from a portable speaker. For the first time, his wealth felt like a tool. Not a throne funding art supplies for Jamie's renewed sketches. Enrolling her in community college classes for graphic design. Publicly, they ghosted. Noah's firm spun the scandal. Personal matters. Focus on business. Alex's empire wobbled, stocks dipped on whispers of instability. Emily filing for an annulment amid prenup frenzy. Tabloids feasted. Tycoon's ex unmasks groom's double life. But Noah and Jamie tuned it out. Cocooned in their bubble. Nights deepened their bond. Jamie opened her sketchbook. Pages filled with raw strokes. Alex's face fractured like glass. Noah's profile softened in sunlight. "Art's my therapy," she said, charcoal smudging her cheek. Before, it was survival. Now, it's us. Noah watched her, mesmerized. "You're magic. You know that." Turning pain to power. She blushed. Rare vulnerability. Flatterer. "But seriously, thank you. For seeing me. Not saving me." Their lovemaking evolved, less tentative. More attuned. Bodies learning rhythms. Whispers tracing scars. Hers from surgery. His from childhood bullies. This one's from prom night. He confessed once. Finger over a faded mark on his rib. Came out too loud. Got jumped. Alex. He never asked about them. Jamie kissed it. Fierce. "I will. Everyone." Weekends wandered, farmers markets in Union Square, where Jamie haggled for heirloom tomatoes. Indie films in Bushwick. Her head on his shoulder during tearjerker closings. One rainy afternoon, they stumbled into a queer bookstore in Park Slope. Shelves groaning with stories like there's trans memoirs. Gay romances. Tales of defiance. Jamie devoured a volume on visibility. Eyes alight. "This is it," she said. Not hiding. Owning the narrative. Noah bought the stack. Plus a blank journal for her. "Write yours. Or draw it. Whatever burns brightest." Inspired. Jamie started a blog, anonymous at first. Pixels and prose on trans joy amid chaos. Posts went viral in niche circles, from wedding wrecker to heart healer. Comments flooded, gratitude from kids questioning their skin. Rage from trolls she blocked with glee. But cracks appeared. Noah's board pushed for a stability statement, photo op with a bland date. Spin the scandal. Image is currency. His CEO droned. Noah balked. "My life isn't a ticker symbol." Tension simmered. Late calls from investors. Noah pacing the garden. Phone glow illuminating worry lines. Jamie noticed. Pulling him inside one night. Rain pattering the roof. "Talk to me. We're partners. Remember?" He sank onto the couch. Head in hands. "They're scared. The queer ex. The trans bombshell, it's risk. Want me to play straight-laced savior again?" Her jaw set. "And you? What do you want?" "You." He said simply, "Us." Out loud. Eventually. But not at the cost of your peace. She straddled his lap, hands framing his face. Then we set boundaries. Your career, my healing both matter. But we don't bend for them. Their kiss sealed it. Hungry and affirming. In bed, she guided him exploring with confidence. Body slick with sweat and certainty. You're mine, she murmured against his neck. And he believed it. Every fiber. Mid-month. A letter arrived hand-delivered. Alex's scrawl on the envelope. Noah's hands shook opening it in the kitchen. Jamie at his side. Noah, I owe you both of you an apology. The wedding. It was a house of cards. Emily's gone. Dad's furious. But maybe that's the point. Jamie was right. I ran. From her. From you. From me. Seeing you too. Though strong. Real it hit like lightning. I'm getting help. Therapy. The works. Telling the truth. Finally. If there's space for amends. Coffee. No expectations. Alex. Jamie read over his shoulder. Expression unreadable. Burn it or brew it. Noah exhaled. Talk. Closure. Not collision. They met at a neutral cafe in Midtown Neutral Ground. Mid-afternoon crowd a buffer. Alex looked hollowed, suit rumpled. Eyes shadowed. He stood at Noah's approach. Jamie a step behind. Arms crossed. Thanks for coming, Alex said. Voice rough. Jamie. God. I'm sorry. For everything. The abandonment. The lies. I was scared shitless. She nodded. Cool. Scared doesn't excuse cruelty. But owning it. That's a start. They talked halting at first. Then pouring out. Alex admitted the family pressure. The internalized shame from a conservative upbringing. I loved you both. Differently. But real. Thought marriage would fix me. It just broke more. Noah gripped his mug. You hurt us. Deep. But I'm not here for revenge. Just peace. Jamie softened fractionally. Heal yourself first. Then maybe we circle back. Alex teared up. Fair. And no, I am happy for you. Her. This. Handshakes. A hug from Jamie that lingered healing. As they left, Noah felt chains loosen, not forgiveness full. But a step. Back home. Jamie uncorked wine. Proud of you. Letting go without grudge. He pulled her close. Proud of us. That night, lovemaking was tender. Exploratory fingers tracing paths of forgiveness. Moans mingling with rain on the window. Afterward, tangled in sheets. Jamie whispered dreams, gallery shows. Advocacy speaking. Noah vowed support. Heart full. But as summer waned, a bigger storm brewed. Jamie's blog hit mainstream interview request from a major queer mag, outing her as the wedding whisperer. Excitement warred with fear. Spotlights double-edged. She said, pacing. Visibility saves lives. But trolls. They've hunted me before. Noah held her. We armor up. Together. Her piece dropped, raw, riveting from streets to speech, reclaiming my voice. It exploded shares. Praise. A book agent pinging. But darkness followed. Hate mail. Doxing attempts. One night. A brick through the window. Freak scrawled in red. Jamie shattered not tears. But rage. Why now? When it's good. Noah swept glass. Called security. Because you're threatening their lies. But we don't stop. She nodded. Fierce. No. We fight. In the aftermath, their love fortified sex a reclaiming. Bodies defiant. Noah donated to trans shelters in her name. She sketched protest posters. United, they turned venom to victory. Fall leaves turned. And with them, Noah's resolve. At a firm gala, he went public not with a speech, but Jamie on his arm. Gown sapphire. Head high. Whispers hushed as they danced. A statement in steps. You're sure? He murmured. Dead sure. She replied, kissing him soft. This is us. Autumn in Brooklyn painted the world in fire maples blazing along the promenade. Crisp air carrying scents of chestnuts and change. Noah and Jamie's life settled into a vibrant groove, her classes at Pratt Institute buzzing with late-night critiques. His days a blur of mergers, but evenings reserved sacred. They hosted dinners queer friends from her art circle. His vetted colleaguistables groaning with Jamie's experimental fusion, jerk chicken tacos. Elope mac and cheese. Laughter echoed. Walls shedding their newness. Jamie's visibility surged. The magazine feature spawned podcasts. Panels at queer centers. She spoke at a youth summit in Chelsea. Voice steady. I was the stranger at the wedding. But every trans kid is a stranger until someone sees them. Teens mobbed her after. Eyes hungry for hope. Noah watched from the wings. Chest swelling, not pride in possession, but in her light. Yet fame's underbelly nipped. Trolls escalated, slashed tires on the Bentley. Anonymous calls hissing slurs. One evening, returning from a gallery opening, they found the brownstone door ajar. Faint footprints in flour on the sill, someone testing locks. Police filed reports. But Jamie's sleep fractured. Nightmares jerking her awake. It's the exposure. She confessed one dawn. Curled against him as coffee brewed. Feels like targets on my back again. Noah stroked her hair. We adapt. Alarms. Maybe a PI. Or we pull back. She shook her head. No retreating. This work matters. He hired protection discretex cop for stakeouts. Not shadows. It eased the edge. But tension lingered, seeping into their intimacy. Sex shifted from playful to protective. Noah's touch is reverent. Jamie's response is fierce, reclaiming agency in gasps and grips. Don't let them dim us. She'd whisper, nails raking his back, and he'd lose himself in her, anchoring them both. Alex resurfaced therapy progress texts, then a tentative invite to a support group. Noah went solo first. A circle of chairs in a village church basement. Faces etched with shared scars. Alex shared halting. I hurt people I loved. Now, I'm learning to love the man in the mirror gay. Flawed. Finally free. Noah nodded. Walls thinning. Takes guts. Glad you're here. Later. Beers at a dive. Alex asked about Jamie. She thriving. More than. Blogs blowing up. Art schools kicking her ass in a good way. Alex smiled. Genuine. You too. It's right. Deserved. Forgiveness bloomed slow. But real no bromance revival. Just mutual respect. Alex even contributed to Jamie's shelter fund. Anonymous check with a note, for the roads we didn't take. Holiday lights twinkled early. Thanksgiving approaching. Noah planned a quiet one, turkey brined. Jamie's family recipes from her mom's old cook bouclards simmered slow. Cornbread golden. But she grew quiet, staring at the oven. Mom called last week. Saw the article. Wants to meet. Noah paused. Knife mid-chop. You. Torn. They disowned me at transition, pray it away. Dad said. But time. Maybe grace. Whatever you choose. I'm there. She flew solo to Pittsburgh. Nerves raw. Noah paced Brooklyn. Texts her lifeline. Landed safe. Love you. Hours later, awkward hugs. Mom cried. Progress. Reunion was messy tears. Apologies half-baked. Dad's silence heavy. But seeds planted, mom's promise of visits. A sibling's text, proud sis. Jamie returned lighter, though wary. Not fixed, but open. They celebrated with pie and stories. Her head on his lap by the fire. You're my family now, she said, fingers interlacing. Lovemaking followed slow. Grateful lips mapping gratitude. Bodies weaving futures. Winter bit hard. Snow blanketing the city in hush. Jamie's first gallery show loomed, shattered vows. Pieces born of the wedding canvases of fractured tuxedos. Emergent figures in emerald silk. Noah funded the space quietly. Pride his only stake. Prep consumed her, sleepless nights in the studio. Paint-splattered overalls. Critiques with mentors who saw her fire. Noah brought fuel coffee runs. Thai deliveries watching her transform chaos to canvas. One midnight. Daubs on her cheek. She pulled him into the mess, bodies against drop cloths. Paint smearing skin in abstract ecstasy. My muse. She laughed. Breathless. As they collapsed laughing. Opening night glittered loft in Soho. Champagne flutes clinking. Collectors murmuring. Jamie in a crimson dress. Noah's hand steady on her back. Alex came. Emily absent but forgiven in whispers. Stunning, he said. Buying the centerpiece, her wedding portrait. Raw and redemptive. Reviews poured. A voice that echoes. Sales funded scholarships. Jamie glowed. But humbly. It's us, she told Noah later. Snow falling outside their window. Your belief made this. He kissed her temple. Your talent did. But joy's peak invited plummet. Valentine's approached. Noah plotting surprise, weekend in the Berkshires. Cabin with hearth and stars. En route. Blizzard warnings flashed. But they pressed on. Her playlist crooning love songs. Stranded mid-mountain. Car iced. They hunkered in a roadside inn cozy. Kitschy. With a heart-shaped tub. Fate's detour. Noah joked. Drawing her bath. She sank in. Sighing. Best kind. Candlelight dinner in-room, steak seared. Wine decanted. Talks turned deep kids. Adopt. Maybe. She mused. Give a queer kid the home we craved. Marriage. When it feels right. Not rushed. Post-dinner. Tub shared, bubbles and bodies. Her back to his chest. Water lapping stories. I never thought. She trailed. Vulnerable. Love like this. He nuzzled her neck. Me neither. But damn. It's perfect. Bedward. Passion ignited slow builds to crescendos. Her cries muffled in pillows. His name a chant. Afterward. Snowstorm raging. They dreamed aloud. Travels to Thailand for her heritage roots. Advocacy tours. Blizzard broke by dawn. Cabin escape pure magic hikes in powder. Cocoa by fire. Return to city renewed. But news waited. Firm's merger collapsing. Noah's shares tanking. Recession jitters. Analysts buzzed. Stress mounted late nights, salvaging deals. Noah hollow-eyed. Jamie countered with dates. Ice skating at Bryant Park. Her laughter thawing him. One night. Exhausted. He snapped over spilled paint. Can't think straight. She recoiled. Hurt flashing. Then don't. Breathe. Silence stretched. Then apologies, his arms around her. Tears mixing. Scared of losing it all. You included. Won't happen. She vowed. We're solid. Reconciliation raw. Makeup sex urgent. Forgiving fingers digging. Lips bruising. Reaffirming bonds. Spring budded. Renewals promise. Jamie's show toured. Noah stabilized the firm with bold pivots, green investments. Queer inclusive hires. Pride Month loomed. Their debut as couple on floats. Ready? He asked. Rainbow flags waving in wind. With you. Always. Pride unfurled like a banner across Manhattan. Rainbow veins pulsing through Chelsea, and the village floats blaring anthems. Bodies painted in glittered defiance. Noah and Jamie dove in. Her on his shoulders for the parade. Skirt hiked. Cheering with marchers who'd fought the fights before. This is home. She yelled over bass. Wind whipping confetti. His hands gripped her thighs. Heart soaring not just for the spectacle, but her joy. Unbridled. Post-parade. They joined after-parties. Rooftop raves with drag queens lip-syncing Gaga. Brunches where stories swapped like currency. Jamie connected deep mentoring a shy trans teen. Trading numbers with activists. Noah, once wallflower at such scenes, found voice, toasting to loves that shatter silences. Summer hummed electric. Jamie's tour hit Ella galleries buzzing. Her talk at a trans conference viral. Noah flew out, surprising her with beachside dinner, Malibu sunset. Waves crashing confessions. Marry me? He asked. Ring's simple platinum band etched with truth. Tears. Yes. Kisses salt-tanged. Yes. But our way queer as hell. No white dress farce. Engagement news leaked tasteful, joint post. Photo of them kissing atop a float. Backlash minimal supporters drowned trolls. Alex texted congrats. Genuine. Fall brought wedding whirl venue hunt yielding a Hudson Valley barn. Rustic beams for vows true. Guest list intimate, her art profs. His queer allies. Alex as friend not fiancé. Dress shopping in Brooklyn, Jamie in velvet jumpsuit. Emerald accents nodding to that night. Planning bonded them custom invites with sketched vows. Menu fusing her Caribbean roots and his Midwest comfort. Stress peaked mid-rehearsal dinner, venue mix-up. Caterer flaking. Universe testing us. Noah groaned. Jamie laughed. Bring it. We're unbreakable. Evening unwind, bath drawn. Her massaging his shoulders. Tension melting to moans. My rock. He murmured, turning to claim her water sloshing. Love languid. Winter wedding dawn crisp. Barn aglow with lanterns. Guests trickled, diverse tapestry trans elders. Gay dads. Allies earnest. Alex arrived solo. Hugging tight. You deserve this joy. Ceremony simple, under oaks strung with lights. Officiant queer elder. Vows raw. Noah's, you taught me courage in chaos. Jamie's, you saw my whole. Loved every shard. Rings exchanged. Kiss ceiling cheers erupting. Reception danced wild, band blending Motown and house. Cake rainbow layered. Speeches heartfelt Alex's toast, to truths that free us all. First dance slow. Her head on his chest. World fading. Honeymoon in Puerto Rico. Beaches her heritage called home. Noah learning bomba steps. Her teaching rhythms. Nights balmy hammocks swaying. Bodies entwined under stars. Whispers of futures. Return to life amplified. Jamie's book deal for memoir. Noah's firm launching LGBTQ venture fund. Challenges came her book, Tour Anxieties. His boardroom battles, but they tag-teamed. Stronger. 1 year on. Reflecting over anniversary dinner. From stranger to soulmate. Noah toasted. Jamie clinked glasses. And the room. Still frozen in awe. Their laughter echoed. Love's legacy, not perfection. But persistence. In a world of facades. They built real kissing through storms. Voices unbroken. Years wove forward like threads in Jamie's tapestries vibrant. Textured. Occasionally knotted but always mended. Their brownstone became a haven. Studio expanded to second floor. Canvases leaning like sentinels. Noah's office cornered with market tickers humming soft. Morning's ritual, coffee shared. Her sketching over toast. Him reviewing briefs with her doodles and margins. Jamie's memoir, Voice in the Vow, launched to acclaimed bestseller lists. Oprah nod. Film rights whispered. Tours took her global, London panels, Berlin exhibits. Each return met with Noah's airport sprints. Bouquets wilting in hugs. Missed your chaos, he'd say. Spinning her. He adapted to fund pivoted to impact investing, trans health grants, queer youth housing. Accolades followed. Forbes cover, the out CEO. But he credited her. She shattered my silence. Parent bridges built slow. Jamie's mom visited first awkward tea. Then tearful walks in the park. Dad followed. Gruff thaw over barbecue. Noah bonded via grilling tips. Earning nods. His own family warmed. Ohio siblings visiting. Nieces doting on any Jamie. Alex evolved out publicly. Dating a barista activist. Therapy a constant. Friendships mended. Group brunches. Shared laughs over old wounds. Intimacy deepened. Not honeymoon fire. But embers banked hot mornings lazy. Her waking him with touches. Anniversaries adventurous. Toys from her art supply runs. Evolving. She called it. Post one exploratory night. Body spent. Like us. Challenges tested. Jamie's tour burnout. Panic attacks mid-flight. Therapy resuming. Noah held space nights listening. Not fixing. His firm crisis. Scandal with a partner. Headlines dredging wedding ghosts. History repeating. He feared. Jamie fears. No. With a rewrite. They volunteered together. Shelter workshops. Her teaching art. Him finance basics. A teen sketched two figures and rain mirrored their start. Framed in studio. Pregnancy talks circled. Surrogacy explored. Profiles vetted. Heartbreak hit first match flaked. Second. Loss early. Grief raw. Her sobbing in arms. Him silent tears. Not now. They agreed. Healing via hikes. Therapy duos. Renewal came organic, fostering first a 14-year-old trans boy. Alex named ironically. Eli. They chose. Awkward teen phase. Eye rolls. Midnight talks. Jamie bonded over paints. Noah over games. Adoption sealed, 2 years infamally forged. Eli's arrival shifted rhythms, school runs. Parent nights. Pride now 3 strong. Float spot claimed early. Dads. Eli teased once. Legends. Aging crept gentle, Noah's temples silvering. Jamie's curls threading gray. Vows renewed at 10 years backyard. Eli officiating clumsy charming. Guests evolved, Alex partnered. Toasting to endless beginnings. Legacy bloomed. Jamie's foundation funded trans artists. Noah's endowed scholarships. Book 2 hers fiction. Queer romance inspired by them. Film a first. In works. Her consulting. Reflections often, porch swings. Wine shared. Regret that night. Noah asked once. Stars winking. Never. Jamie said. Hand in his. It froze the room but thawed our world. Their kiss lingered. Timeless. In love's grand narrative. They were the plot twist that saved the story. Human. Heroic. Wholly theirs.